Hi everyone, my name is Mike Shade, and today I'm going to talk about why you should learn how to cook. I'm going to give you some examples, go over some basic techniques. We're going to go over very quickly, but I've included a PDF file to a great cookbook called Good Eats in the description. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll go ahead and get started. Now, the basics for cooking, especially in college, is this ends up being as the standby. Our good friend, the ramen noodle. It's quick, it's easy. There's so many flavors, you can't go wrong, right? I don't know about you, but I don't really feel good eating it. I've definitely thrown my share of ramen in microwaves and things of that nature. But it's either ramen or it's this, which kind of looks like a rehydrated squeaky toy there on the left, and maybe some, I guess, mac and cheese is what that's supposed to be. But it's not really good, and it's not really good for us. But what if I told you that you could take this, and for the same price and maybe a little bit more effort, you could go to this lovely pasta chicken dish. And now, what's really the big difference? You might think, wow, I have to be a culinary master in order to do something like this, and really, it's not. The main difference is planning and just learning some basics of cooking, and anybody can do it. And I'll kind of go over what that is. But what I can tell you is, it's not magic. I know we've heard a lot of chef's secret ingredient, and that may be the case in some restaurants, but really if you're just wanting to learn how to cook, there are two things that you need to know. The first is look for quality ingredients, and the second is learn proper technique. Now, I said quality ingredients, and that's not necessarily the most expensive thing in the supermarket, but again, how do you tell? The best way to look for quality ingredients is look for fruits and vegetables that are in season. Usually you can tell by what's on sale at the grocery store, but when food is in season, it's in its peak of perfection. Its flavor is great, it's ripe, it's in season, and it's fantastic. Now, if you combine that with proper technique, and techniques that we're going to go on, you can cook pretty much anything, and it's going to taste fantastic. And you can do it. Anybody can learn how to do these techniques. They just have to be practiced, just like anything else. You didn't really know how to put something in the microwave before you did it a few times, right? But the main problem that a lot of beginning cooks have is, where do I learn from here? How do I go? The best thing I can tell you is to get your hands dirty. Learn how to look for quality ingredients. If you go to the supermarket, they'll show you up, if you grab produce, it'll be up at the top. It should look like this, should taste like this. And you might start here with some basic recipes. But again, don't be afraid to fail. The first time I tried to roast something, it ended up smelling like road tar on a hot day because I kind of left it in there too long. But again, I learned from it. I learned not to, they say set and forget. Don't ever set and forget. But the best thing you can do is grab cookbooks, grab friends that have cookbooks, borrow them from somebody, look at recipes online, and just get your hands dirty. And that's the only way you're really going to learn the techniques that we're going to go over. So we're going to jump right in and talk about some of the basics. Now, one of the best basics is pan frying. This is your primary method of cooking, especially if you want to cook something fast. It involves putting a little bit of fat, butter, oil in a pan, and then making sure it's hot, and then brown your food on either side. Brown once, flip, brown, flip, and flipping until it's done. You can do chicken, you can do vegetables and fruits, and another great technique is roasting. It works a little bit different than pan frying. Pan frying is direct heat. Whenever you're baking something or roasting something in the oven, you're doing it slowly, and it's heating all the way around it from the outside in. Great for big cuts of meat, great for adding flavor. And then once you master that, you can kind of get into stewing, which, again, kind of evolves from pan frying. The only difference is, instead of finishing it in the pan, we're going to submerge the food in some kind of liquid, could be stock, could be water, and then simmer it over a long period of time. Great for bulk meals, large cuts of meats, things of that nature. Now, once you get that down, you have to add flavor to your food, right? And one of the best ways to do that is with dry spices, things like salt, pepper, rosemary, thyme. And as you try new recipes, you'll be buying spices, and they can get a little expensive, but one jar will last you forever. So I highly recommend investing in some basic spices and some basic sauces, things like salsa. Learn how to make a good pasta sauce. Until then, just grab some jars, but again, that can get expensive. Sauces can add a whole lot of flavor to your food, and in the PDF that I include, Good Eats, it has a lot of different sauces that you can make for not a lot of money that really enhance your food. And as you learn how to cook, you're going to have leftovers. Now, if you're like me, you don't really like eating the same thing over and over and over again. So what we do in our family is we repurpose them. You know, we'll make a roast chicken one day over the weekend, and then that'll turn into fried rice, or we'll put it on pizza the next day. So learn how to repurpose your food into new dishes, and you'll be able to eat a lot. And the only way you can do that, again, is by experimentation. And just remember the basic tenets of cooking, though. Again, quality ingredients and proper technique. And you're going to practice them, and you're not going to get these techniques right off the bat. You may burn something, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to experiment. Sometimes some of your experiments will turn out great. I mean, you look in the cupboard and you say, man, I got some beans and I got some tortillas and cheese. Well, you pan fry all that together and you get quesadillas. A lot of times we'll take leftover stew meat and use that in quesadillas. And again, it's great, but experiment. Don't be afraid to fail. And the other thing is start small. Learn how to cook eggs. Learn how to cook breakfast. Breakfast is a lot of pan frying. You learn how to pan fry, and then you can start learning how to roast. And then you can roast, meat and vegetables together. And then you can learn how to stew and combine different techniques over time to make things that are truly incredible. And you can do it. And at the end of the day, cooking is just like learning a language. You learn short words, and you learn long sentences, and you can tell stories. And cooking is the same way. And soon you'll be able to tell your own stories in the kitchen. And I can't wait to see what you make. Again, check out the description below. I appreciate your time, and happy cooking.